Welcome to Eternal Elements Learning Podcast brought to you by Tiasa Online. These podcasts are a part of the audio certificate programs on Tiasa Online. You're free to take these podcasts on your desired portal also, should you only wish to learn on the go. Thank you so much for engaging on these podcasts, and you can connect with the author on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Hi, this is Niket Karajagi from Eternal Elements, brought to you by Tiasa Online. We're talking about grand strategies. In this season 7, it's all about strategy formulation, strategy execution. In my earlier podcast, I talked about innovation. And I said that innovation is a grand strategy that helps you get premium margins associated with either the creation of a customer or a new product or a service. While innovation is a great grand strategy, it involves a lot of expense in terms of research and development, and it's also time consuming. We also realize that 1 out of 100 new products actually see the light of the day. That means around 99 innovations tend to fail. So what should firms do? And that's exactly the strategy we're talking about. It's called the horizontal acquisition. It's a widely used strategy world over in international business. The whole idea here is to crunch your innovation time, and therefore what you do. Horizontal acquisition is a grand strategy which gets you instant growth by acquiring similar firms operating at the same stage of production marketing chain. Which means what? When we're talking about a production marketing chain, we're actually talking about either the same product or a similar product. And the marketing strategies are quite the same. That means the brands are also pretty similar in their own positioning and orientation. May not be the same in terms of size, but surely the same in terms of the mindset of the customer that they tend to capture. This is a strategy that is used by organizations where they acquire similar companies. And the whole idea of acquiring similar companies is they already have a product, they have their core competencies already built, they have the ready people available, they have all the capital and the technology that's required for expansion of the acquiring firm. And therefore what happens is a firm which wishes to acquire and grow gets into a horizontal acquisition grand strategy. They start looking at firms in the market, in the industry, and then there is a specific acquisition team that gets operative. And this operational acquisition team starts working on acquiring different firms which are either competitors or they could be into similar markets. They're not yet competing. They're fresh. They're young. They are slated to become unicorn companies. And then they go and get into an outright purchase. It could be 100% control. It could also be an equity partnership. But definitely, in a horizontal acquisition, the acquiring firm looks at an absolute control on the firm that it wishes to acquire. There are a lot of different acquisitions that keep happening worldwide. And these acquisitions really do great stuff for the organization, because what happens is you're able to expand your customer base immediately. In fact, in the financial sector, in the banking industry, you can see a whole lot of acquisitions happening across the banks. And the whole idea is you're able to enter new markets, you're able to enter new countries. Insurance firms tend to acquire. And the whole idea is you have ready-made customers, and therefore you expand your customer base immediately. You have new product lines available to you. You have new service lines that get available to you. And therefore that crunches the innovation time. Haven't we seen a lot of acquisitions happening in the information technology field? Haven't the hardware firms, both in terms of computers, laptops, organizations which have been making different storage devices, Now, in the cloud computing area, we see a lot of acquisitions happening because cloud computing is set for big. Now, with the revolution that's happening in the information and communications technologies, you will find a lot of acquisitions happening in this world. And that's the whole idea of horizontal acquisition. Go for something that's already proven, go for something that's already available to you. And therefore, what you do is you crunch your entire effort. You take advantage of the multiple strengths that the organization has, which you're going to acquire. And therefore, this grand strategy of horizontal acquisition is a phenomenal strategy that a lot of firms that look at long-term growth tend to do that. One of the biggest acquisitions that one can talk about is the acquisition of Chorus by Tata Steel, an Indian company acquiring an international company, Chorus. And that's the beauty of this acquisition, because what happens is Chorus was amazing in terms of its core competencies on steel, and Tata was already into steel in India, and therefore it became a fantastic proposition for Tatas to go ahead and acquire. Western Digital Corporation purchased Hitachi Limited's disk drive business. Now, Western Digital was a czar in the area of the hard disks and storage devices. And then what do? They augment their strength by acquiring another company. And this is what makes the amazing factor in terms of horizontal acquisition. Thank you very much. This is Niket Karajagi signing off from Eternal Elements, brought to you by Tessa Online. We're going to be talking about the next grand strategy, which is vertical acquisition. Horizontal acquisition was all about similar firms. Vertical acquisition is all about integrating your value chain by acquiring inputs and maybe acquiring in a way so that your customers are able to be catered to in a much better way. Thank you very much. I shall see you in the next podcast.